A while back, many of you showed interest in seeing me cook on this channel, and to be sure, I made another poll, and thankfully, you all decided that you'd rather see a video about cleaning than cooking. I'm a little shocked, however, because little known secret, I'm actually an amazing cook. Gordon Ramsay doesn't have anything on me. Like, if you caught me and Gordon Ramsay in the same room together, he would start yelling at himself instead of me. That's how good of a cook I am. But that's besides the point. You're here to see me clean the Quest 2, because as you know, white is a terrible color. It is like a dirt magnet, and so it becomes imperative to clean the Quest regularly if you don't want your friends to see what kind of a filthy animal you are. Not a terribly exciting topic, but you nasty animals asked for it, so here it is. I'm gonna break the video up into the following sections with timestamps so that you can skip to the part you're more interested in. First, we'll look at cleaning the body and controllers of the headset. Then we'll look at the stock strap that came with it, as well as other straps. And then we'll talk quickly about cleaning the facial interface, and then we'll talk about the lenses. And then finally, the most important part, you smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm. I'm joking, but in all seriousness, I'll show you how to clean your lenses, a few options you have to prevent scratches, and then a way for you to remove scratches in the event you do end up scratching them, so stay tuned. By the way, all of the products that I mentioned in this video, I'll link to in the description so that you can make sure you're using the right stuff and not damaging your headset with the wrong materials. Alright, so to get started, let's start by taking apart the Quest. Now, as you can see here, I do have the deluxe audio strap on here. If you want to see how I did that or how I got this battery onto the back of it, I have videos about that on my channel. I'll link to them below. But if you have this or the stock strap, it's the same procedure. Just make sure everything's unplugged, and then the sides of this are just gonna pop out like that. I really like this design on the Quest 2, makes it really easy to take that off. So we're just gonna pop off this other side also. There we go. And then we're gonna undo this Velcro right here. If you're still using the stock strap, you might wanna take off the facial interface first so that you can get rid of this little piece right there. So now that we have the deluxe audio strap off, we're gonna set that aside. And now we're just looking at the Quest. Let's take off the facial interface. I just like to push it off and it should just pop out. It's got some indents or whatever hooking onto it in the bottom and the top. And there we go, set that aside. And then we're left with just the headset. And let's move the controllers out of the way for a second. To clean the actual headset itself, Oculus recommends using antibacterial wipes that don't use alcohol or an abrasive cleaning solution. Okay, so I have some wipes here that I'm gonna use, and I'll link to some of these down below. We'll just wipe out the outside of the Quest with this, getting everywhere on the outside of it, making sure you get those buttons where you end up touching the headset a lot. Try to avoid wiping the actual cameras, however. We'll use something else to clean those, but just wipe everywhere out. If you do end up accidentally touching right here, or if you do end up accidentally touching the lenses, it's not the end of the world, but this is not what you want to be using to clean that. So we're just gonna wipe everything out, make sure we get it all clean, get rid of any bacteria that might be on it. Now, there's this little groove right here. To clean that, I like to just stick this in there and then use my fingernail. I'll try and show you right here. I'll just kind of stick my fingernail in there and then follow along the groove. If you don't have fingernails, or if that's not working for you, you can use a piece of paper or cardboard, something thin that you can just kind of stick in there. You can kind of see it getting the dirt that's in there. Be careful right here when you get to the lenses. Again, we don't really want to wipe those with this, because you can scratch them with this. So you just want to be careful. And then we're just getting that groove, getting a little bit of the dirt out. That's harder to get. You can also move this up and try to get behind there, get a little bit of the dust that might get in there. They're a little hard to get behind, but just kind of do your best. You can kind of stuff the fabric under and pull it through like that. That's another way you can get under there if you see it getting dusty. So that's that. That's all we're gonna do with the headset for now. The controllers, you're gonna use the same type of cloth, just wiping it out. The controllers do end up getting a lot dirtier than the headset, I believe, especially around the grip. So make sure you wipe that out really good, wipe out the buttons, wipe out on top right here. There are a lot more indents to get into. I use kind of the same method. Just kind of sticking my fingernail there. You can take off the battery back bracket. And this, if you do that, I do recommend taking the battery out just to make sure you don't hurt yourself. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it on, just wiping out the outside. I'm not too worried about it. Do that with both controllers to get them nice and clean, wiping them all out with this antibacterial wipe. You can use a new one if the one from the Quest got really dirty. And that's it. So controllers and the headset are done. One thing I wanted to point out is if you are experiencing issues with the analog controller, maybe it's drifting, you can clean out some dust that sometimes gets in there in the analog controller. Just get, you can get a can of air is one way to do it, like this can right here. Or there is another type of electronic cleaner that's highly recommended to get that out. Essentially, all you're gonna do is you're gonna spray it right there, and then you're just gonna push in and move the thumbstick around, push it in, move it around, get some more air in there, get some more of the cleaner in there, and just move it around trying to get rid of some of that dirt. I'm not gonna do it because I'm not having any issues with the stick drifting or anything like that. I have had that issue in the past and that helped. So if you do end up having that issue, that's one option. All right, let's look at cleaning the straps. If you're still using the stock strap, I highly recommend you get a new one. Definitely check out my video about that. I prefer the Deluxe Audio strap, but even the Elite strap or anything is better than the original. But if you're still using the original, it does get dirty really easily. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get some water with a little bit of soap inside of it. I'm just using my soap I use for dishes. And then this is just fabric with a little bit of plastic. You can just stick that all in there and then just kind of rub it together on itself, scrub it a little bit. You could even maybe get a sponge in there, especially if you have some parts like right here, it's kind of dark, you know, it gets really dirty right here, you know, kind of just wipe it out, let it soak in that soap for a little bit. You could then rinse it out with some fresh water, and then you want to hang it to dry. You don't want to actually put it in the dryer or anything like that. You want to hang it to dry. So I'm going to set that aside for now. If you're using a strap like what I have, the Deluxe Audio strap, you're just gonna use another one of these wipes, just wiping out the outside. There is some fabric parts. You can wipe the fabric with the same thing, and you can also wipe the headphones. Okay, that's another important part to get. So just wiping down everything with the same kind of wipe that you're using on your headset, pretty straightforward. Now let's take a quick look at the facial interface. If you're using the stock facial interface, I highly recommend you get some tape or a lint roller. One thing I don't like about the material is it really picks up on hair. So you just take some tape and you just kind of go like this around the edge of it where the foam is. That's gonna get rid of any hair that's holding on to, that it's picking up, other dirt, other things, because it really is just kind of like a dirt hair lint magnet. So this is gonna get rid of a lot of that. Then after you do that, you're gonna use another one of the wipes that we've used before. You can wipe out the foam right here, and then you also wanna wipe out the plastic if it's getting dirty or if you see any dust on it. If you have a replacement like the silicone, or this is the VR cover interface, you can check out my video review on this and some of the other options. Definitely prefer the VR cover leather over the stock. If you have this, it's really easy to clean, a lot easier than this. All you have to do, wipe it out, done. Just wipe out all over with the same wipe. It's not gonna pick up any hair or anything. Super easy to clean, especially if you've been sweating. Just get a dry rag or anything to wipe out if you need to just clean it up between users. You don't even need to use one of these. Just a dry rag with a little bit of water, just wipe it out. All right, so now let's take a look real quick back at the headset. We're gonna clean the lenses. The first thing you're gonna wanna do to clean the lenses is we're gonna try and get some dust out. Now it's really hard to get in right there on the edges where the lenses are. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a can of air and we're just gonna spray out any dust. Okay, once you've done that, we're gonna grab a microfiber cloth. I'll link to it in the description. This is a set I found on Amazon. It had a couple of them, I think like 6 or something. It's just nice to have a bunch of these lying around because I do lose them. So it's nice to have them. You're just gonna wipe out the headset like this with the microfiber cloth. Make sure you're using a clean one, and it should get rid of any smudges or anything like that. If you use anything else, you can scratch that. So just be careful. You do want to use a microfiber cloth made for cleaning this kind of thing. And then also we're gonna go back here to the front. We're gonna clean out the lenses for the cameras as well. We're just gonna wipe those real quick with this. Make sure we get any smudges. That's gonna prevent any tracking issues that you might have. Make sure everything looks good through the pass-through. Okay, and that's pretty much it. If you do have a bunch of these, you do wanna clean them. You don't wanna just keep using the same one. Otherwise you may end up scratching or damaging your lenses. So after you've used it for a day or two of wiping it out, between uses, go ahead and just wash it. You don't want to throw it in a washing machine. That can ruin it. You can just rinse it out with water, I believe, let it dry, and just make sure you're always using a clean one, okay? Now let's talk about taking care of your lenses. To avoid scratches, there are tons of lens covers that you can get. I haven't used any of these personally, but I'll link to a couple of them down below. They're a great option because they just clip onto your lens headset, and then you know that you'll be able to use them without scratching the actual lenses. If you scratch the covers, you can always replace them. I personally just haven't tried them yet, but they are an option if you're extremely worried about that. But if by some mistake that you don't use these lens covers and you do end up scratching the lenses, maybe someone's glasses scratch the lenses or maybe use the wrong type of fabric to clean them, there is a way to get rid of some scratches. I won't say it'll get rid of all scratches, but Thrill Seeker, another popular VR YouTuber, took sandpaper to the Quest lenses and was able to get rid of most of the scratches using a product called Polywatch. Again, I've never tried it, but the only reason that I'm not using a lens protector is because I know that Polywatch is always an option if by some mistake I do end up scratching the lenses. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hoped this video helped you guys keep your headset clean. If you made it this far, you might as well subscribe, and if you need motivation, just look at the graph. Also, make sure you join our Discord if you want to meet other VR enthusiasts to hang out with. Anyways, that's it. I'm out.